Visionaries, what's up with you guys? Damn, this phone, the quality is not that great. Well, not the phone, but the lighting. But anyways, let's just jump it off. Happy Sunday to you guys. You guys may have seen, most of you, that we were in Liberia recently, and we're back. We've been back now for a couple of days, and I made a video I made a video that we haven't posted yet on the channel, just about my overall thoughts, of Liberia currently in this state. I would just say 2023 because the year is almost over. The last time I was in Liberia, you guys saw the video I made. When we came back, it was like one of the saddest video because I had already almost basically lost faith in going to Liberia. We just decided we weren't gonna go again, and things like that. Because you guys all know the story. Our 360 got missing, and if you follow the channel, you know we found it, which is a good thing and not so much of a good thing because we found it at a location and in an office where we've called that office for like almost a year, and they told us they don't have it, they don't know where it is. And we went there, we saw it there, and one of the employees said, "Hey, come, it's here." So I don't know if it's a good thing or not, because I mean, why didn't they just let us know that it was there all along? But also the airport has, I think, a policy that after about 12 months, if the item is unclean, they get to keep it. So I'm just thinking maybe that's what they're waiting for. But anyways, let's get into this video, man. I want to talk about a few things. Mainly, first of all, my overall feel about Liberia. I'll tell you, if you're going to Liberia in the next month or two or next year, it's going to be a smooth transition. It's going to be a smooth travel. The first thing, right? Because the whole COVID thing is over, so the airport experience is just completely flawless. I mean, you will always have people asking you for a small thing, a little bit of money here and there at the airport, which is annoying. I mean, I feel like when we come back and stuff, yes, we want to help out a little bit. It should be like your choice. You should want to just give people a little bit of money here and there if you want to, if they're helping you out and they want to. But it shouldn't be where you're just hackled every step of the way. Somebody's asking for a little thing. But I mean, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. But also mainly because since the COVID thing has done, if you're going to Liberia, so just a quick thing to remember. You don't need to do all the COVID testing thing anymore, where you go there, you get down to the airport, you pay a little bit of money, and you go to this location. You sit there for like an hour in line, and it was just a hustle. Like when you land in Liberia during COVID time, you spend at least 2.5 hours in the airport before you get out. But now, man, we got in the airport, and within less than 10 minutes, everything was done. So as soon as you land, all you need now is your COVID vaccine card, right? So make sure you have your COVID vaccine card, an updated card. If you're taking the Johnson & Johnson or the Pfizer or whatever it is, if it's one of those ones that you need the 2 doses, make sure it both shows on there. Or if the other one that have just 1 dose, make sure you have that on there. So first thing is vaccine card is mandatory. When you go to Liberia, you don't need to do your COVID testing where you're coming from before, unless you don't have a vaccine card. But at the same time, I think it's mandatory. They're not using negative COVID testing anymore and stuff like that. So if you're going on airlines, first of all, the airline, before you even leave your home country, they will ask you for a vaccine card. So they're not asking for a negative COVID testing result. So there's that. So when you get to Liberia, you definitely will need that, and you give it to whoever is there. So like I said, for those of you who are going, just expect a smooth, easy passage through the airport this time. There isn't any hustle to here and there stuff. Even though our bag got missing, I feel like something always have to happen to us. But just overall, man, it was just good because even our bag that got lost, we left our information there, and within 2 days, 3 days, they call us. They call us on the day that they said they were going to call us to let us know that they have our bags, and we went in town to get the bag. So the airport experience, man, I'm excited. I can tell you that it will be an easy one for you. You will love it. You guys know we've made 2 airport video, and both were just not good. It was just us just bashing and really not loving the experience. That was one of the things that really whenever we're going to Liberia, we just are so hesitant and like just dreading the airport part because that part is just a bunch of. But now I can tell you, other than like I said, there's still gonna be people asking for money here and there and stuff. Uh, here's a trick, right? Joel, this is Joel 101. The trick that Joel has is whenever he get to the airport, the man he can just tie his face. Like he don't speak, you don't do no small talk with nobody. Like as soon as he pull up, he just look like he's just angry. He just frown his face. And Liberian people can't stand that stuff. They're not gonna ask you for money. Nobody want to get into any confrontation. They don't want to ask you to be they don't mean by you just looking mean. But like when you get there and the first thing they want to do is just get into small talk. Small talk is great, but when the whole purpose of the small talk is to at some point ask you for money, then I mean it just kills the whole vibe. You know what I mean? So people they'll always, oh, how where you coming from, Sue? Where you know what country you coming from? Oh, this, So Harrington, welcome back. Oh, yeah. As soon as you know all that, be like, let sister, yo, let brother, yo, and then you gotta give them money. And sometimes, most of us that go to Liberia, we're not rich. Like we hustle, we get a little bit of money, we budget to the point where we will survive, and then to be giving people here. It is the thing about it too is like after you move from that person, the next person is gonna do the same. The next person, the next person. So, I mean that's the only downside. I don't know how that's gonna go away. I just accepted that. But other than that, the airport experience is just easy. You get out of the airplane, you just go, you show your COVID card, you go through immigration for your passport thing, and that's it. And all of those processes take less than 10 minutes, and you just get your bag and go. If your bag is not missing, because I don't know, the airline always be leaving bags behind. So yeah, there's that part. I'm excited about that to let you guys know that the airport experience is gonna be great this time. And if you want, use Joel tip. Joel just tie your face. As soon as you get it, just look mean. You just tie your face. You won't see how to nobody's it. Like nobody's gonna ask you for money. A Liberian person would not ask you for money when you look mean. But when you look all smiley and thing, but I mean, at the same time, it's not a good thing though. You don't want to come home and be looking all, mean and stuff. You want to be, you're happy to see your people and stuff. But at the same time, man, once you start doing that, you just open yourself up for like people really just beg you and stuff like that. But at the same time, give the people some more thing. I mean, I don't know if that behavior encourages. I don't know if I even say that. I should say that because it feels like that's just encouraging that behavior. But at the same time, sometimes you get back when you just want to give the people a little bit of something. But anyways, there's that. Airport experience A+. You will love it. I'm not anticipating any heckle this time. However, though, that's November, right? You guys who are going in December might be a different story, but I can tell you that it'll be far better than if you went last year, anytime last year or last year December. That's number one. And again, all of these things I'm talking about, there are separate videos, completely full separate video coming up about them. So now let's jump into land buying. I made a post the other day. The most dangerous thing in Liberia right now is to buy land. Sad. But also it's one of the most popular things that's happening, right? That just is a testament to us Liberian. All of you guys watching this video, all of you guys all around the world, it's a testament that Liberian are taking actions, right? Liberians are realizing, look, home is where we have to go. We have to do something back home. And also, most of us that are in these diaspora are just a little bit sick, homesick. You're tired where we at, especially if you're in these United States. It's a little stressful, especially if you're an adult who've lived here for 15, 20 years. You just want to change of environment at some point, especially if you're not, somebody who was fortunate to, be very well off in life and have successful things going on for you with abundance of disposable income and things like that. If you're somebody who just living, you know what I mean, doing what you got to do to live, the country it becomes a little tiresome. So a lot of us are looking to go back home. It says that I was in Liberia, you guys all know, just a few days ago, and all around what we're doing in Liberia, all around, you see land are being bought by people in the diaspora, right? Because people have plans to come back home and stuff like that. So again, land buying is one of the most dangerous things to do in Liberia now. So there are ways to go about it, but you have to do it legitimately, not legitly. Legitly is not a word, is it? Legit. It could be. Yeah, you never know. Legitimately. Yeah. So to do it legitimately, so you definitely gotta do that, because one of the most fraud that's going on in the country now is land buying, and I bet you all know that already. Land being sold to multiple people. That's number one, right? Somebody said that good English, that good English, legitly. So land buying. So here's a few tips, right? I'm gonna make a completely full video, step by step, in depth. But there are certain things you have to do buying land. The first thing is if you're gonna buy a land, I would really highly recommend avoiding giving money to a family member to buy a land. Your uncle say, "Oh, I got a land here." Your friend say, "Oh, my uncle got a land." Now, most of these lands, especially if land has been in the family for a long time, there are multiple people involved, right? Your uncle may be in the family that own the land, but he may not be the main person. Like for instance, the main person on the mother deed. He may not be. He may just be a person who, is in that family and feels like he has the right to sell the land, right? Not knowing the other person in that same family is also selling the land. So that's what happens, right? So you have multiple people who are in the same family that own the land, and multiple people are selling the land without even communicating with each other, right? So just be very careful, especially if you're buying land, multiple lots and acres and stuff like that. You want to do your due diligence. You want to also just go in town, check with the lands in mind, check with the archive to make sure whoever it is that you're selling the land to is in the archive, is on the mother deed. Make sure their registration is up to date. I think it expires every 2 years. Because if you buy land and that land registration that is supposed to renew every 2 years or every year, if it's not up to date, whatever you just did is invalid. That person can just literally, you don't have no case, right? So there's a lot of intricate steps you have to take to buy a land legitimately, so you don't have no issues. You can go to court and things like that, right? I also recommend, if you're going to do a lot of these things, to get a lawyer. That's all of these processes I'm mentioning to you are things we did in Liberia, to go through those a bit of a pain, well, kinda, and also a little bit of upfront money, but that saves a lot of headache, right? So we have a lawyer right now on our team, on our project. We built a team. I'm going to talk more about this. I haven't really announced most of what we're doing yet, but part of what we're doing is we established a business to really help with all of these, right? To help people in the diaspora, because I mean, we know what it feels like. We know the risk that we would take if you're not living in Liberia, you want to do something. We know there are a lot of little steps here and there you have to go through to get things done in Liberia. So we want to make it easy for people living in the diaspora. So we've established a business that helps with all of that, right? But again, I'll talk about that later on. I'm not ready to discuss that yet because it's still in works. But just in general, make sure you get a lawyer. If you're a lawyer, if you're going to go through this, the lawyer is going to help really do the due diligence and make sure things are up to par, and create some contracts with whoever you're interacting with and things like that. So again, land buying process, make sure you, one, see who is selling you the land. Avoid buying land from family members and uncle and auntie who just know somebody. Go to whoever it is that own the land directly. Make sure they have an updated copy of the mother deed to make sure their name is on it. They have a registration of that land to make sure their name is up to date and it's in the archive. Then from there, you go to the archive. You take a picture of that deed or whatever it is in the registration. You tell the person, okay, that sounds good. You see the land. And also when you see the land after you leave, maybe come back in the evening or the next day and ask the people living in that area if that person who just brought you to the land owned that land, if they've seen them before and things like that. People talk. People in the community talk. They will tell you, like, that man, that man only that Uncle Bobby son, I know that man just bring you. I think that man come eat eyeball. Let me pull off the talk. You know what I mean? So they will let you know. So do that. Do research. Come back. Talk to people. Ask them. Right, and then go. Secondly, then take the copy of the mother deed and registration. Go over to Lands of Mine in town, Broad Street area or somewhere like that. Go to the Lands of Mine office. Again, you have to give a little bit of money here and there. To give, I don't know, $10, $5, whatever it is, to the people up there. To somebody to make it a little snappy for you. And check in the archive. They will check the registration. They will check the archive to make sure everything is up to date. The land hasn't been sold yet. There aren't multiple people owning the land. The person who is selling you is the actual person in the archive, and do that. After you do that, and then if you're buying a big plot of land or acre or whatever, multiple acres, then you want to get a lawyer involved during the purchase process. You make sure your lawyer is there, check the documents that they have, make sure the documents up to date, and the lawyer signs on that. Look, like I said, man, you can buy land. I know a lot of you guys have bought land before just from somebody you know and it went well. That's cool, but I can tell you now, more and more it's getting more dangerous to do that, because people are just ripping people off, especially. So those are a few tips on how to buy land and things to look out for, right? Places to avoid at this point. Now, I'm not saying completely avoid it, but places that you have to really spend a lot of time before you make that purchase. And we all know this place. Number one place is Marshall. Marshall is basically the next one of the next big city that's happening. Marshall and Brewerville are the next big city that's about to boom. People are building, people are rushing there. It's like gold rush. People are buying up lands. I went all over this place, did a lot of research. There are a lot of foreigners and government officials buying acres. I mean, 20, 30, 40, 100 acres of land, just stashing it in that area, and it's becoming a little harder for people to buy land. So maybe they are buying it to resell it. Land buying process is getting more expensive every day. The land we saw today, if we go back again next year, it's going to be more. So I would recommend you go ahead and buy your land now, even if you really don't have too much plan. Now, I wouldn't recommend if you don't have any plans at all, just people just buying land, just stashing it, and then the area is not going to get developed. And then, anything can happen. Something happened now you can't build no more, and now that land is just sitting there. I wouldn't recommend that. But I'm saying though is if you have in the short term have a plan to build something, maybe in the next 6 months to a year, I would say buy your land now because these things are going to get more expensive, right? And you don't want to buy land when you're desperate because that's kind of part of what happened to us also. We're desperate to see that you're desperate to see that, oh, you need it now, you need to do something. And they don't want to work with you as well. They'll eat your eyeballs more, right? So you want to buy when you really are not in a hurry and you have some flexibility. You can walk away and be like, okay, no, it's too expensive. I'll come back later or check somewhere else. You don't want to be in the position where you just need to do it right now because you're back against the wall. You have something going on that needs to be done right away. So there's that, right? So make sure you do that. And secondly, let's go back to areas to really pay attention to when you're buying land or to avoid if you can. It's the Marshall area. The Marshall area is great. It's big. There's a lot of land still available there, but because of the number of people that are going in Marshall area to buy land, um, the most court cases for land dispute in the entire country is in Marshall. All the land lawyers, the lawyers we talked to, we interviewed 4 or 5 lawyers. We have 2 lawyers on our team, and all their land cases, like 80% of them is in Marshall area. That's where most people are getting scammed. That's where most people, it's the primary. Everybody wants to go there. Like, think about we Liberian, we just all want to do the same thing. Like a lot of us, I'm including myself, right? I'm not talking down anybody, but like we just want to all do the same thing. If Marshall is the next hot area and everybody's going there, now everybody's going, nobody will be like, okay, you know what? Let's go to this side and start building there so that can be also a hot area and all people can come there and then at least we can benefit because, well, we're the first ones in the area, so we're going to get things cheaper. Whatever we do there, the value is going to go up and things like that. So we just want to follow, like monkey see, monkey do. So that's what's happening in Marshall area. So if you're buying land, you're planning on buying land in Marshall, I would say, first of all, go down there and get it done. Don't be in America or Europe, Asia, and stuff like that and call people on the phone and be like, oh, send me the land and my uncle will help me do the running down there, all that stuff. No. If you're gonna buy a plot of land for like $1,000, $1,500, I mean, fine, you can do it. If you whatever happy you lose it, that's cool. But if you're trying to start a big project, you're buying a couple acres and stuff like that, you're spending 5, 6, 7, 10,000, 11, or 15, $20,000 to secure an area. Go down and get it done. Follow all the steps I just mentioned to do your due diligence. Get some lawyer involved. Visit a Lands and Mines office yourself. Get contact there and things like that. Do a community vetting, right? Talk to people in the area. All of those things are crucial in buying land in Liberia. And if you're going to buy land in Marshall, you have to do these things. If you have the flexibility in Marshall, it's just an option. I recommend look to Brewerville. Now, having said that, let's talk about Brewerville. Brewerville is, I think, the second largest township or city or district in Liberia, if second or third. So Brewerville is the next booming area. People ask me these questions all the time, right? I would say the next big city because most of what's happening in Brewerville now are people that has just great mindset and have good plans of building in that area. Brewerville, the next 5 to 10 years, you're not going to see all kind of zinc horses here and there, all this. Everybody who's going in the area have plans to build something unique. That's where all these further estates is coming and things like that. Having said that, well, in addition to that's kind of the reason why we we were able to go down there, amongst other places, secure like right away 5 acres of land all the way, leads all the way down to the beach. And also we have access to, through partnership, 50 acres in that area of land. That's insane. That's ridiculous. But that's because we strongly believe in having gone to Liberia like 9,000 times a year and doing our research and going through all of our processes and stuff like that, through registering our businesses and everything. That area is going to be the next big area. It's going to catch up pretty quickly with Marshall area, and that's where people are going. It's a little bit in, you know what I mean, like from like the actual Morovia, the Broad Street area and things like that. But with everything that's going in there, it's going to be, people are going to be self-sustaining in that area, right? You wouldn't have to leave and go down. People are building schools, hospitals, and all of that. So now that I said that, let me campaign for that area. If you're looking to do any major project, if you're looking to build something big, if you're looking to establish a big manufacturing plant, or you're looking to build a hospital or school and things like that, and in the Morovia area is getting a little saturated. Number one. Number two, you're gonna just spend 3, 4, 5, 6 times the money it'll take, right? And it's a risk because again, the land and buying and securing things, it gets very complicated in that area. So I recommend look at the Brove area, right? Because first of all, the land are being bought in that area at an exponential rate. People are securing land everywhere. Every time we go to some area, now the land is being bought. We go here again, that land that was available is not there no more. And whilst we're looking for land, we also see people coming the same day. The same guy who is, showing the land also has just shown the land to somebody. So it's going up there. And most of these are people from the diaspora, local people, government official, local, just regular people are also buying the area. So far, when you go to Broville, you don't see a lot of zing houses and all that stuff in especially when you start going down towards the beach. So that entire area is about to be very developed, right? So that's a great time for you to look for a place in that area, land in that area, right? All of this is also going to tie back to what we're doing. Now, I'm not here again to go deep into what we are doing, but like I said, because of everything we've seen, that's why we made that like investment and initiative to really secure up to 50 acres in that area, and has started with 5 acres that leads on towards the beach with the project we're working on. I'm going to go into the project later on. Maybe you guys have had a gist, you guys have had a hint about where we're going, but I just want to make sure everything is 100% before I really start campaigning for what we are doing. But in general though, just on your own, you can look for places in that area, or reach out to us, reach out to me, and we can assist with that as well. But without that, even without reaching out, whatever it is, if you have other means, definitely go ahead, or by yourself or somebody who you really trust that can help you, go to that Brewer area, secure your land in that area. Your big plans that you have for your big business, not everything should be in Morovia. That's what's happening, right? I'll give you an example. You go to Morovia, the last 4 times we've been to Liberia, like for example, we've gone to places that were big establishments, and they're no more, or they're struggling, right? Because I've said this 900 million times on this channel. Liberians, or human in general, just love new things, right? And it's just gonna take so much for a business to keep reinvesting to keep their customer while new competition is popping up everywhere. And these things are not brand loyalty. You know what I mean? Like some people are so loyal to certain brand. Like for instance, here in the United States, some people own Ford cars, and all their lives, and their children, they're all gonna own Ford. They're loyal to that brand, right? They can look at other beautiful vehicles. They're like, yeah, it's cool, but they'll always go back and buy Ford. For most of these businesses in Liberia, there isn't a brand loyalty. People just go there because it has what they want now. Everybody else is going there. It's most popular, so they go there. If something else pop up, they have no hesitation leaving your establishment and going somewhere else, right? So I'm saying this to say that in Morovia, there's so much of this happening in that area, that people should start looking in other places. like I mentioned again, Brove area. So if you have a big business that you want to establish, take it over there. You might be the only fish in that pond for a long time. And all those people who are moving in the area, being the first mover in the space is very important in a business, you do. You're gonna have the most experience, you're gonna have the most brand recognition. People are gonna know you right away. People are gonna your credibility, the brand trust. People are gonna trust your brand. You know, we all know, right? People buy certain things because that thing has been in business since 1960. Of course, I'm gonna buy it. If you've been in business for this long, yeah, I trust you, right? So all of that. So we should really start looking outside of just doing everything in Monrovia and everybody just want to be there and things like that. Well, anyway, whilst I'm talking here, though, you guys want to charm me, you can talk about how to start a real estate business in Liberia. Jimmy Universe. Okay, I'm going to go into that. Rashid said, why if you don't have vaccine card? Because I don't want it. So you cannot enter Liberia. Oh, man. Well, yeah, vaccine card is mandatory. If you don't have a vaccine card, I doubt that you're even going to leave the country you're coming from, because most of these airlines are requiring it before you hop on board. I'm making a separate video, by the way, on Air Morocco. Very surprising review I have for Air Morocco. Very shocking. That video is coming up soon, so subscribe if you haven't yet, and just click on the notification, because as soon as I post it, you'll get the notification on your phone right away. But yeah, so vaccine card, you need it. You're probably not going to get on board certain airlines like Air Morocco or Air France and things like that. They need a vaccine card. So you're going to find it difficult to go to Liberia or most of these African countries, or even get on board to fly if you don't have a vaccine card. So let's go back to the whole land thing and business and stuff. So go to Broville. Broville is it, guys. I'm telling you, Broville is the area. Go to Broville. Monrovia is saturated now. Too many things is going on. When you have your business over there, even to get around, it takes, like, you're in Monrovia, you do one thing a day. So Joel and I, and you guys all know if you've been there, really wanted to avoid getting on motorbikes. These bikes, motorcycle. It's one of the most dangerous things to do in Liberia, by riding motorcycles. Those accidents are brutal. They happen every day. The motorcycle riders don't have any requirement to ride motorcycle. Anybody can just wake up today and just grab a motorcycle and go run traffic and put people on there and risk their lives. And you never know. There's so many of them. There's absolutely no requirement for these motorcycle drivers. Anybody can just get on it and start riding people. So it's very dangerous. However, the entire time we're in Liberia, all we rode was motorcycle. And not out of like choice. We really just wanted to get so much done. And when you get in your car, you can do no more than 2 things per day. The traffic is ridiculous. It's immense, especially if you're going to that Douala area. Just forget it. Like, before you get to where you're going, the day is over. So we always have to hop on bikes. I'm going to post all those videos. You see we're on bikes every day, weaving through traffic. People in there weaving through bikes. As we're driving along, we see them biking and hitting each other. It was just like a freaking war zone. But we just had to, because we wanted to accomplish so much, right? Because we were there for the shortest period of time we've ever gone to Liberia. So I'm saying this to say, again, we need to start thinking of settling and developing in other areas than Monrovia, because you can build a big, nice house in Monrovia, but you're coming from where to get Humpa, you're just going to be crying in traffic, right? So businesses, establishments need to go to Brove area. The roads are being done there by government. Electricity has crossed. That electricity that's coming from, I think, Guinea or something like that. It's coming in that area. You know, so solar would do too as well. But yeah, so that's that. Let's see what else I was going to talk about here. So I'll talk about land and land buying process, where to avoid, marshal, things like that. Business registration. If you guys want me to make video on that, let me know. I went through doing our business registration, and I'm going to make a video anyways. Business registration in Liberia. You know, the process is a little bit more complicated than than it's supposed to be or should be. You know, here in the States, you can just get on your computer and register your business all by yourself and do it within like a couple, like less than 10 minutes, and everything gets mailed out to you. But in Liberia, you have to go through certain channels. You have to go to certain offices. You have to meet with a lawyer to even register your business. You have to pay. It just gets complicated. So I'm going to make a detailed video on register your business. And if you want to do legitimate business in Liberia, I would highly recommend you register your business. Just don't go there and just open some kind of little thing and not doing it the right way, because sometimes they can hustle you. These I was gonna say IRS, the Liberia Revenue LRA, whatever it is, they do show up sometimes. If your business is not registered, you just have to go through all kinds of greasing elbow every time and things like that. But yeah, overall, I'm very optimistic about Liberia and how things are going. Now, let me open this up, man. I've been talking. I can talk a lot too, though. I talk a lot. But anyways, let me open this up to all of you guys on here to live. Just go ahead and comment any questions that you have regarding some of the topics I've talked about or anything that I haven't talked about. That's really how the live goes longer. I have a lot more to talk about, but I just don't want to be spilling just the entire time. So help me out. Comment in the comment section with any questions, suggestion, or anything you'd like to know. We just got back just 2 days ago from Liberia. So it'll be a good time to ask those questions, because I can give you an updated answer, up-to-date answer, and things like that. So go ahead and let me know in the comments here, and so we can know what's going on. But yeah, in the meantime, yeah, I'm optimistic, man. It's the country is, things are happening. Things are happening just like I always thought or I'd hope. The citizens in Liberia, we guys all know, we all say this nowadays, nobody's stupid here. Liberian people are not stupid no more. I'm just hoping that this whole, me, I'm not too much into politics and stuff like that. I strongly believe in the private sector. I strongly believe in individual Liberians making things happen. So I don't really talk about government and all of that, even though it's very important and government play a huge role in creating an avenue. That's all the government can do, creating an avenue, and then we take it from there. So that's why I don't talk too much about government and stuff like that. But however, Liberian people are not stupid no more. Most of us know what we want, even those who are in Liberia and stuff like that. Hopefully we just translate that into, just having a government that will really help facilitate what we want to do, because a lot of Liberians are dreaming. They have goals, aspirations. I even went to the barber shop to cut my hair, and a little kid who was cutting my hair, he had all these plans. He had like portfolio of projects you want to work on, but of course, no capital, no avenue, no startup, no initiatives, nothing. So how is he going to do it? He's not going to cut hair and save up all that money to do that. And he's going to do it when he's 50 years old or something. So, but that's all, man. That's really what I'm just hoping that that we do. But also there are private citizens who are making things happen. I'm going to post a video probably in the next couple of days about an individual. Her name is Chuku. Probably some of you will know him. He facilitates and runs and owns the IT school right there in the city. So again, these are private people doing things, and that's helping the entire country. It's helping the youth. We went there, we saw a lot of people learning all these IT stuff, which is very important, especially for youth nowadays. You can work anywhere in the world. You don't have to work in Liberia if you get into IT. IT is crucial because we're in digital age. Everything is internet, so we can't be left behind. Countries like Rwanda and Kenya and things like that, they're far ahead. They're doing so much with internet. They're creating things, manufacturing things that we're not even thinking about, have not even tried, attempting doing. So we can't be left far behind, man. But anyways, that's what I'm here to say, and I just want to give you guys my overall view. I don't want to stay too long on this live. I've been editing YouTube videos, unless if I have some questions from you guys. Other than that, that's really it. That's really all I have to say. But yeah, so that's it. Just know that more video coming up on what we're doing with the 50 acres of land, what we've started on the 5 acres, where that looks like, what does it look like, the plans and all of that stuff. We're really trying to really aid in certain sector in Liberia that's really crucial and lacking. So somebody said what, let's see, hi family, just joined the live. Julia, hello Julia, welcome to the live. We're just talking about all of those topics I posted in the title. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll answer that for you. And like I said, we just got back a couple of days ago too, so that would be the best time for you to ask a question, and then I can answer it. But anyways, Cyrus, you got anything?
No, you covered everything.
No. What do you? Come. Oh, so Cyrus is a guy that work with us here. He's a Liberian. Were you born here?
No, I was born in Liberia.
So he was born in Liberia. He's an intelligent young man. When I tell you this young man is a scholar, very, very bright, and he inspired me for a lot of things. We're doing what he does. So, but he has plans, man. He has plans for Liberia. I hope Liberia don't disappoint you, man. What some of the things you're thinking about or you're planning on doing?
I mean, I tell everyone that whenever I meet someone that asks me what I want to do with my life, I used to say that Liberia is one of the poorest countries in Africa, but then soon after I switched that to say that Liberia is one of the most underdeveloped countries in the world.
Okay.
I believe that that's a more positive perspective to have, and I tell them that my life goal, my life career, my life mission is to economically or to help economically improve the circumstances for the people living in Liberia first and foremost before expanding to helping or assisting with the economies of people in West Africa, then Africa, and then this is the order.
Yeah.
And then Black people in America, and then after that, the minoritized people in America. So
If somebody gives you $5 million right now to go to Liberia to do something, what are you gonna do?
it's high five what?
$5 million. If somebody gave it to you, what would you go to Liberia to do? You haven't been there yet, right?
I
But
haven't
just-
been there ever since
Since you
I
left. Yeah, but what do you think? Just from the outside view, what do you think will be like very crucial to like jumpstart this country?
Very crucial. I think it would be very broadly listening to almost everything that y'all have been saying, these businesses and these partnerships, because from what I've been learning, outside of the government, that's really one of the best ways to improve the country is partnering up. So I would partner with you and Joel before anything else, honestly.
All right. Definitely, man.
Which is what I'm doing already.
Yep. So Cyrus is doing that already. He's helping us a lot with a lot of things. He's got a lot of plans for the country. And a lot of you guys are out there too as well, who, you know, Liberian, probably born, haven't been there for a while and things like that, man. But yeah, all right. That's what it is. So I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. And we'll post more video. You'll see Cyrus in more of these podcasts, by the way, because we're gonna get back to this podcast. All right, guys. Visionaries, happy Sunday. See ya.